I think it's so exciting to find referrals for people, because you know you're helping them fulfill their personal goals, not just their business goals. So it's in your moments of decision that your destiny is shaped. And one of the things I wanted to say, first of all, I'm very humbled to be sharing some thoughts with you over the next few minutes. And my purpose for this is to share with you some of my thoughts, some of my experiences, in the hope that you have an even better 2025 than maybe you've had 2024. And I'm going to share some principles that helped me throughout lockdown and enabled us to accelerate over the next few years after that. And for me, it's all about living your best life. And I'm so grateful we've got Gail in our chapter, because she talks a lot about these things. If you haven't had a one-to-one with Gail, I certainly recommend that you do so, because we all work for a reason, whatever that reason might be. And I always get asked the question, would you still do what you do if you didn't have to? And I think a lot of us, I've seen the passion in your eyes when I've had one-to-ones with so many of you. You do love what you do. This is a picture I use in my 10 minutes normally, but I wanted to highlight this bit here, and I'm deliberately pointing at my stomach, because in lockdown we had a lot of fun filling that stomach, by the way, like many of us did. And I realised that a few things had to change. I had a poor diet. I had pressed the wrong button there as well. Little exercise, lethargic, and some of the things I was trying to achieve in my business weren't quite happening. And I knew that for things to change, we have to change. One of my best mentors, I wish I'd had the opportunity to meet this guy, Jim Rohn. It's a great quote. You've probably heard it before. And one of the things that I started to look at was values. I don't know if any of you have looked at your values. I know Gail does that with her clients. And for me, I'm sure you've met a lot of people who do what I do, and it's all about getting the sale. And for me, it's about some of the values here. It's about having a balance, so doing the right thing for your customers. It's got to be a win-win. Having that deep connection, being in this room is a privilege as a Green member. Being so grateful, all these things that you probably heard before, personal development, and more importantly, having fun. This is a fun thing to be a part of. And once I reevaluated these values and the things that I wanted to achieve and put them into some sort of order, for me, everything started to come into place. So if you have one takeaway from today and don't do anything else, please have a look at your values and try and figure out, if you don't already know, what they are. Because once you know what they are, you suddenly realize why you like working with some people and why you don't like working with other people, or more importantly, why you have to change a little bit to work effectively with those people. So I came up and trademarked something called the Lighthouse leader, that I don't do anything with, by the way. My ego was a little bit out of control back in lockdown, and I might use it at some point. But I wanted to share with you some of those things. And on your desk, I've put together, with the help of the printer in our BNI, who stresses he didn't do the design because I didn't give me enough time. The design is mine, but the print quality is Tom's from our chapter. He's a really good printer. And the first thing I had to look at was the way I was living my life at that moment. For things to change, we have to change. So 15 stone 10 in that photo, and diet had to improve. I discovered gin in lockdown, by the way. I don't know if anyone else discovered alcohol. So, but I realised I had to change a few things around, and change doesn't have to be monumental. It can just be incremental. Just has to be a little bit. So I changed a little bit of what I ate. So I was away in Spain earlier in the week, as some of you know. I ate a lot of fruit, a lot of vegetables, a little bit to drink, not as much as you, Darren, but a little bit to drink, and a little bit of walking as well. And I discovered a passion of mine, and Darren would be upset if I didn't mention this, table tennis. I'm obsessed with table tennis. So if you can find something that you enjoy and you can become obsessed with, then it is really, really good and beneficial to do that. So table tennis has done that for me. And my current weight, I'm not going to make you guess, I'll put you in suspense, is 13 stone 4. And I hadn't been under 14 stone for years, just because of the lifestyle I was living. So if you have a takeaway point for yourselves, I don't need to know, of what you want to do maybe in 2025 for your well-being, that would be good. And again, I've mentioned Gail a few times. I love the way you've got a loft, haven't you, at home where you...
I do have a loft, but you're going to have to explain that now, because people are thinking, well, everybody has a loft.
Yeah, who's in Gail's loft?
No, I've not been invited yet to Gail's loft. But if I talk about things like meditation and quiet and silence and things like that, will that be far off the mark?
No, I think it'd be pretty much on the mark.
Right. Okay. So I think looking after ourselves is a key thing. The next thing for me on here, and this was about me, by the way. It's not hierarchical. It's not Maslow's hierarchy of needs. These are all independent. Is having a purpose. Having a reason for doing. And if you look at the gain sheet, for example, we talk about goals. We like to find out from our fellow members what their reason for doing. I love the way that people's faces light up when you ask them what they're going to do this year, what they're going to do outside of the business on a personal level. I think it's so exciting to find referrals for people, because you're helping them fulfill their personal goals, not just their business goals. So for me, health was obviously a big one. My utility warehouse promotion that had eluded me for a number of years. That was one of my goals. Family, spending more time as a family and doing more travel and learning Italian. I was learning Italian in that room at the back there, not teaching it, Adam. I wish I could teach it. So these are some of the things that are fueling me. The next one was mindset. And I think for so many people, it means different things. It's almost bandied around, isn't it? And I've been very mindful, no pun intended, about our mental health at the moment. I did a mental health qualification earlier in the year because I've got 2 young boys who are young men, 23 and 19. And I'm not going to say the nasty things that can happen that are out there, but I do worry about their mental health. And checking in with people in our chapters, checking in with people who may be being off for a little while. These are all key things to help us all be resilient. I mentioned personal development before. If you're not reading, then you're not growing, and if you're not growing, you're not going to move your life and business forward, in my opinion, as much or as quicker as you might do. And having a resilient strategy is quite key as well. We all get rejections. Does anyone in the room, everyone they speak to becomes their customer? And you think some are dead cert and you can't understand why they're not going to do that. I think we all have moments like that. And the biggest thing for me, and on the back of the booklets that I've given you, I've put Jim Rohn's quote on there, and sorry, I'm going to steal yours, Gail, because I forgot to bring my copy up. There's a thing, Jim Rohn talks about the average of the 5 people you mix with. I love our BNI group because there's so many exceptional people in that group. And I took it a stage further. For me, you want to be number 4. So you want to be inspired by numbers 1, 2, and 3. Okay, so I might, in our chapter, talk about Gail, Zoe and Darren, what they've done for our group and grown us from 20-ish members up to 29 members. But you've got a responsibility to help that other person as well. In our chapters, that might be the new member who we want to help get more business out of BNI. This is a coachy bit. I'm not an expert on this. I can waste as much time as anybody and binge on Netflix, by the way. The Gentleman is very good, by the way, the new Guy Ritchie series. It's brilliant, isn't it? Might be running a tighter diary. It might be something that I learned and I'm practicing, and that's blocking out chunks of time to be more productive. BNI Day is a Thursday for me, chapter meeting, try and get 2 one-to-ones in there, and then I don't have to worry about referrals. They'll fall out of those one-to-one meetings. In my business, I've got an accountability partner, someone who's doing a little bit better than me, and someone that I'm trying to help move forward as well. And something called the Pomodoro technique really worked well for me, chunking time, and I suggest you look that up. You might say this next one should be at the bottom somewhere, but this is about the holistic view. So for me, vision for me and vision for the team. I've been using ChatGPT, by the way, to find some fantastic things that come out if you ask the right question there. And as a team, we're working on our vision and our goals for 2025. I know our leadership team are doing the same for BNI. Our goal should become our daily activities, whatever that means for you in your business. I know what it means for mine. And something I'm very protective about, it's my brand, my personal brand, my utility warehouse brand that I'm super protective of, especially in our region. I'm working hard to make sure that is as good as it can be. And also the culture of our team, the culture in our family, the culture within our BNI as well, I know is really good. One of my personal goals in BNI is to help a new member get business within that first month if possible. It's not up to me, it's up to them to explain their business. A lot of new members in ours aren't doing their gain sheets, I've noticed recently. They're probably not doing it in yours either, and encouraging them to make the most of what they can do. Someone looked at mine recently and they got a referral for me, for someone to speak with. So you just don't know until you have that there. And I know that if they get business early on, then they're going to stay, aren't they? It's going to be worth their while, not just, as Ewan says, to get their money back, because we all may as well just stay in bed if we just want to get our money back. But this is about how we can help them earn maybe 10 times their membership fee or whatever goals they've got in place. There's some leadership elements to what I do. I'm not going to cover them today, but this concept of Lighthouse leader I find phenomenal. Google it because it's got so many connotations, being strong and steadfast for those around you. My favorite is lighting the path when things are going dark, and it's very dark at the moment. A lot of people will be going through some emotional turmoil going into Christmas, New Year. A friend of mine, Sean Little, you might have seen on, I was on TikTok yesterday, one of my things I need to spend less time on, probably like some of you, and someone had done a cry for help, maybe a suicide cry for help on LinkedIn. Check in with people, maybe it would be a good thing to do, especially in the 2 weeks we've got off over the next, over the Christmas period. That's my closing slide, by the way, that I'm meant to come to in a minute and have a big crescendo, so pretend it's not there for now. But for me, it's about being the best lighthouse leader we can be for those around us. And in closing, let's all plan the best 2025 we can have. Not leave it till between Christmas and New Year. I've done that in the past as well. But today, tomorrow, early December, set the things that you want to do, have and become, that you want to achieve in your business and your personal life, and share it with those that you need to share it with. And I wish you all the success that you're prepared to work for within BNI. And I'm stealing a phrase that I've heard recently: let's thrive in 25. Have a great year. Thank you. Thank you.